Hey everyone, it's Heather with Hump Days with Heather on the Talking Pools podcast. I hope you're having an amazing day. So it's Wednesday, almost through the day. So on this episode of Talking Pools podcast, I wanted to kind of talk to the individuals that are thinking about kind of leaving their company and going out on their own. That's kind of been the talk of the town a lot lately. So I wanted to kind of dab on that because there's a lot of information about how to go about doing that, what's the right way to do that, what's the wrong way to do that, that sort of ideas. So let's kind of jump into it. First off, as a business owner myself that has employees, I've actually had people leave my company and start their own, and I've actually helped them start their own company. 3 of the 6 that did. 2 of them are still in business. No, 1 of them are still in business. The other 5 are not. And the one that's still in business, his name is Will Smith, and he owns DFW Poolsmith was his name, but he just changed it to, oh shit, what is his name? I'm thinking DFW. I forgot what he changed it to. I'm sorry, Will, if you listen to this, I still love you. Anyways. And Devin owns it with him as well. And Devin and Will are doing amazing. And I couldn't be more proud of those 2 as I am today. Will came from a very bad background, and he has just exceeded all of my expectations and then some. And Devin has been right there helping him along the way, and he's just been a very blessing to help Will. So if you have the willpower and you have the help and the knowledge, it's great to start your own business, but don't be fooled. It is very stressful. It is very time consuming. Do not start your business for time, right? So hubby started our business because he was tired of the dishonesty in where we lived with swimming pools. And I was in the automotive industry. And so I knew nothing about damn swimming pools. I was like, you want to start a pool business? And I don't know anything. What the hell? Whatever. So I quit my job. I started building it up. So I'm just going to kind of give you step by steps on how to build it, what to do. First and foremost, don't leave your current employer hanging. That's a big no-no. We hate that. That puts us in a huge financial bind. That puts us in a huge bind with somebody trying to cover your route. Obviously, if you hate where you're at and there's a problem, address it with your manager or your higher ups. Don't just leave that company hanging. 1, that shows your character, and 2, you wouldn't want somebody to do that to you whenever you start your own business, if you choose to start your own business. And trust me, it will happen. I can honestly say, though, I've been very lucky. I've only had 2 people in the 15 years of doing this business do that to me. 1 was because he quit because he didn't like the route. Like, he was new at it. He trained for 2 weeks and then he didn't come back. Well, we all know that happens a lot in our industry. It's either for you or it's not for you. And the second one for me was because he got into an altercation with a client of mine, and he knew he was in the wrong. The client called me. I called him in the office, and he quit right then and there because he didn't want to take responsibility for what had happened. So my first form is, don't just quit your employer. Give them an adequate 2-4 weeks, whatever weeks notice, because it's going to take you some time as well to build your business. Also, make sure you're upfront honest with them, because you have to make sure that you didn't sign a non-compete, and don't be dishonest and steal their damn clients. They work their ass off to get their clients. I can't tell you how many times people try to steal people's clients when they work with you, and that's just not right. That's dishonest. It's not good business. It's not good character. Just don't do that shit, guys and gals. If you're going to build your business, build it on your own. Don't use somebody else's hard work, sweat, pain, tears, labor, all of that to do it. Outside of the ethnic stuff, let's talk about how you actually go about it. You need to start to plan what type of pool business you want to do. Do you want to do cleaning? Do you want to do repairs? You want to do building, leak detection, remodel side, pergolas, concrete? What do you want to do in the industry, right? You want to think about your things. So let's build a business plan. So that business plan is going to align all of that information. Business plans suck. I will tell you. I've done one business plan and I stopped doing it. It's probably a shame on me. I should probably do it this year, even though it's in March, or April now. I'm sorry. It's April now. But build that plan so you have a game plan, especially if you've never done business in your life. If you have never done business in your life, I highly suggest you take an accounting course to learn how to manage your money a lot better than what you think you know how. The second part is once you get your initial plan, let's start thinking about a business name, right? When you're starting out, you can do a DBA. There's no problem with doing a DBA, but just know you're not going to have that legal protection as you would if you were an LLC, an S Corp, an incorporation, so on and so forth. In Texas, an LLC is going to run you about $500 to $800, somewhere around that area, if you do it yourself. If you hire an attorney to do it for you, which you need the articles if it's your first one, which I highly suggest, you're going to spend about $1,200 to $2,000. And that's going to get you your articles. That's going to get you some of them do your DUNS number. So find out what's included with that. So with my CPA, the very first entity I did cost me $1,000. I got my articles of incorporation. I got my DUNS number. I got my tax ID. And I got that may have been it. Because my sales tax and my sales tax. It was a sales tax too. So we got that. So once you get all your business name done, you get your LLC done, you're going to start doing what I just said, your sales tax, because guess what? In Texas, pool service is taxed. You have to tax it. You don't have to tax your labor, but you got to tax your weekly service, which I find really weird. But it's an all-in-one, so it's got to be taxed because you've got your chemicals and all that. I try to work around that. So the way that I did my weekly services, I split it in two. I paid the supplier the taxes, and then I just said the rest of it was in labor, right? Because it technically was. So from there, then you're going to register for your business taxes, right? That's going to be your sales tax. That's going to be your employer tax. That's going to be your fun, happy end of year tax stuff. So you're going to get all that right, open and going. So once that's done, you got your LLC going. Obviously, LLC, you need business partners if you have multiple people. If it's just you, you just put your name on there and you're good to go. Then you're going to open up your business account. So you're going to have a bank business. And in order to get a bank business account, you've got to have your articles of incorporation, your LLC, because they're going to look it up on the state. So make sure you have that. The next, I would highly suggest you open a business credit card to get the points. If you're brand new, you are going to use a PG, which is your personal guarantee. So keep that in mind, but you want to make sure that if they pull your personal guarantee, they don't report on your personal guaranteed. Two huge things. Go back and listen to my podcast for the business credit. That one's a longer podcast. The business credit card will help so much. Then you want to go and set up your net 30s with the vendors if you choose to do a net 30. I did a net 30 for years and years and years on all of my vendors. My net 30 was like $80,000 for all of my vendors. I zomped all my net 30s and I just started paying cash for it all because it's just easier for me. So I follow a thing called Profit First in my business. If you don't know what it is, get a book that's called Construction Profit First or Profit First for Construction, something like that. I don't have it on my desk or anything, or I'd show you. So pay attention, read that. That'll definitely help you, especially if you suck at accounting, because billing in our industry is just right now a hot fucking mess. But follow that. Then work on your license, or you can work on your license as you're doing this whole process. In Texas, you have to have a contractor's license and you have to have your TDLR license. I hold the contractor's license and hubby holds the TDLR license because I suck at electrical. So it works well for us. I know in some states you have to have a business license as well. I think in Louisiana you have to have a business license. In Florida you have to have a contractor license. That's a little bit different than here in Texas. So just make sure you look at what licenses you need. If you don't know, post on the groups. I'm sure people will tell you, or ask your attorney that's doing your LLC. After that, everything's set up, everything's ready to go. You're legal, you're ready to rock and roll. Make sure you have a vehicle to work out of, because you got to make money. I don't suggest going and buying a fancy whoppy $50,000, $70,000 car, truck, whatever. Don't suggest a car in pool industry, but I would suggest you go buy a cheap little $10,000 little pickup truck. Nothing fancy. Get something that's decent on gas. You're going to get business insurance. Business insurance with E&O. Do you hear what I say? If you don't know what E&O insurance is, ask your insurance carrier. E&O is errors and omissions, especially if you are doing safety covers, diving boards, building, remodeling, and pool inspections. It is very important to have that E&O insurance. Okay? Ask your carrier. They'll be more than happy. If you need a good carrier, I have 2 awesome carriers I can refer you to. They are great. All right. Next, we are going to define you've already got your name because you had to have your name to do your LLC, right? So that's done. Then we're going to get a little bit in the marketing section. Now we've got to find your brand, your website, your colors, your logo, your marketing. What are you going to do with that? This is all needs to happen because without marketing, without branding, you're not going to grow, right? With that, so much work. You can hire an IT company. I use Carl. Everybody knows I use Carl. He does all kinds of graphics, all kinds of designs, SEO. He does Google, pay-per-click, all that above. So he's great. He's like my one-stop shop. If you can find somebody like that, or you can call Carl, whatever, it saves so much time and money. You don't have to do it because as a business owner, your time is already going to be tied up with everything else. Next, a phone system. I highly, highly suggest do not use your personal cell phone. People will abuse that. It's not recorded. There's no protection. They'll blow you up all night long. Get a third-party phone system that you install an app. I use RingCentral. There's some other people that use Citricom. My IT got me connected on them. RingCentral is dirt cheap. It has text messaging. It has video marketing. I'm sorry, not marketing, but video calls where I can create like Zoom meetings. It's got conference rooms. It's got phone calls. It's all recorded. It's on my phone. What I love about the RingCentral is if somebody is physically calling, I'm going to pull it up for you real quick. So it's just hold on, let me get out of a client's text message real quick. But it's just an app that goes on your phone, and when somebody's physically calling, so it's just an app, right? So when somebody's physically calling me, it'll say RingCentral. It looks different. That's what I love about RingCentral. On Citricom, it doesn't tell you that it's coming from your business. So that's why I like RingCentral. It keeps everything in one spot. All the phone calls are recorded. Now, obviously the text messages are not recorded, but you can screenshot it and save it if you need to for whatever reason. I learned that lesson a long time ago not to do my personal cell phone. And then I can log out of RingCentral, log into RingCentral as much as I want if I don't want to deal with work or whatnot. So that's kind of a nutshell in my little 15 minutes that I try to keep my podcast short and sweet of how to start your business. Obviously, there's a little bit more in depth. Get it with a CPA too as well. Figure out which type of LLC, if you got an LLC, is best for filing, whether it's S Corp, whether it's partnership, whether it's whatever it may be. There's different levels of LLCs. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this podcast, and I will see you next Wednesday. Nice to see you. Bye.